You guys mentioned this at one point, and I want to bring it back up. Brock winning the title at SummerSlam would be best for business, and it would make the title look more like a UFC title that gets defended only twice a year and has a lot of prestige. What's our take on that? Now, I thought that was interesting because the moment I read it, I was actually all game for it. Because I'm like, with all these storylines that are going on, I think that the WWE could actually afford a champion that exclusively defends the championship every now and then and sort of just builds up to that match instead of just it's going to be defended every month or every random Raw.
It definitely adds a bunch of prestige, and the WWE is kind of already built for that to happen because, yeah, we have a pay-per-view every month, but we have the 4 big pay-per-views a year. That's where the title could be defended at the Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam, at Survivor Series. Plus, it gives them a ton of time to actually build these stories up and make them meaningful. So if say Daniel Bryan wins at WrestleMania, the night after they start building a feud that will end at SummerSlam, then that's when the big match happens. So basically, I'm all for this. I think it's a really good idea.
So in this modern era, do you think it's okay to say if Brock Lesnar's champion to just have it go weeks without even seeing the champion? I mean, we know Paul Heyman is going to be his manager, so he could be carrying the belts around maybe, but is this a good idea to have the champion off the show for such long spans of time? I mean, think about people who complain about The Rock when he was off the show for just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but there's a big difference there. The Rock was a good guy that was saying, hey, I'm back to the... Okay, I'm gone. You won't see me for a long while. Brock Lesnar conquered the streak. Brock Lesnar conquered 5 hours later. Brock Lesnar's a completely different scenario. This is a guy that his gimmick, his character is that he arrives, eat, sleep, conquer the streak, and leave, or whatever the hell. That is his character, so it would absolutely make sense for him to win, and it's like, when you guys give me a worthy opponent, then I'll defend it.
Plus, if we're going to use the Brock Lesnar example, like you said, Ryan, there's Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar might not show up every week, but that doesn't mean Paul Heyman can't go around with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, talk a lot of trash and hey, I'm not the champion, what are you going to do? I'm just going to sick my monster on you. So in Brock Lesnar's respect, it could actually work.
Okay, so let's say he wins the belt. I mean, how long do you go? Because obviously Lesnar broke this streak, so you want to keep him as... Yes, so you want to keep him as built up as possible. You really don't want him to lose any momentum. So if he wins the belt, then it's got to be a long reign. And this long reign would probably go till WrestleMania. So that's SummerSlam to Mania without the champion on TV most of the time. Can they afford to do that for that long? Or do you do a short run and just kill his momentum? It's almost worse to have the belt if you're going to have to take it off him so soon.
Once again, with Paul Heyman, yeah, they could totally do it. Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be there every single week. Paul Heyman could be there representing them. And if somebody is going for the title, they could put him in a feud against Cesaro, the other Paul Heyman guy, and build Cesaro at the exact same time.
I feel like this would have been better served back when there were the 2 championships, because then the World Heavyweight could kind of come in and be a really big title. But I mean, I guess it would enhance the Intercontinental title, maybe, but I don't know if there's anything that can ever be done to make that title important again.
If there was still that second champion, there would be no prestige to that title if it just went away for X amount of time. They might as well just merge it into one title and it gets defended every single month then.
I mean, I will agree because... especially now with the pre and post shows, they're trying to make Raw and wrestling as a whole be more real. Like even my friend, who's a big sports guy outside of wrestling, when he was watching the post show, he was like, "Whoa, it feels like I'm watching an NFL game." Where they're trying to break it down. So I was like, "It's working. You're actually getting people to think about a product the exact same way you want them to. How do you take that a step further? Apply that to the actual product. You have a guy whose contract itself is a storyline. You put the championship on the guy, and hey, guess what? If in a short amount of time it doesn't work, you just take the strap off him. But if it works, then run with it. You know, he's supposed to be hated. They can play it off to when they see him, they want to throw shit into the ring. Not literally, but they want to throw junk into the ring. You know, they want to do that because they're pissed that they're not seeing their champion. So it absolutely would be interesting. Would it be best for business? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to continue watching WWE whether they do this or not. So I'm obviously not the audience. I don't think any of us here are. But it would be interesting to sort of get a casual fan's perspective on if they would tune in knowing that the championship's not going to be defended at, Extreme Rules or any of the shows between the big ones. Hey, if you like this clip, you can check out full shows over at ByteThat.com, as well as iTunes and Stitcher by searching Byte That. Also, send us questions through Twitter at ByteThatCast or email ByteThatCast@gmail.com.